still exist. The Western Wall is the Shekinah. This is Rachel. She's in exile. They go to pray to Rachel. Everybody wants to, that's the cosmic vagina. That's what it is. Now, during the time that Rome took over, there was 4 Roman generals. One called Vespasian, who was to become emperor, and Titus taking his place, ordered the destruction of the temple. He assigned the destruction of the 4 walls surrounding the temple to the 4 generals. Pangar, the Duke of Arabia, was ordered to destroy the Western Wall. Pangar, however, did not destroy the wall because it had been decreed by heaven that the Western Wall should never be destroyed, because the Shekinah, God's presence, dwells in the west. The west. This is always west. Back of your head's always west, because you face the temple, face the east.
Yeah.
So this is always west. Shekinah is always west. When asked by Vespasian why he did not destroy it, Pangar replied that he intentionally did not destroy it so that it would stand as an eternal sign of what Vespasian had conquered. Although the emperor acknowledged that he did, in fact, make a good decision, because he did not follow his order, he was executed. Now, this is another miracle that happened that nobody understands. There's a whole section in here on the loose bone and the nephesh that stays over the bones. Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, Rachel, all this stuff all ties in. That it's called the vapor of bones that remains over a person in the grave. And then there's a whole thing that talks about the head tefillin. And in the book it talks about, the tefillin. When they put on the tefillin, the knot is on Leah, which is now elevated, so that would be Rachel. And then Leah would be the pineal, and that's the da'at, that's the tefillin, that's these prayer things. That's what they're doing. They're bringing everything up, and they're making a laser beam, so to speak, of prayer, focusing that energy. So if you look at the way the Western Wall is made, where it's positioned, and where the dome of the rock, the Even Shtia, is, this line is a 45-degree angle. It's the exact angle from the loose bone to the pineal gland in the brain. So when they're praying at the Western Wall, physically, and they're looking at the temple, it's the same thing that you're doing, Jerusalem of the mind. It's the exact same thing. They're just physically there. That's the Peshat. This is the Sod. Well, this is probably the Remes. When you're actually doing it with your partner, that's the Sod. That's why it's called Yesod. That's the Sod. The Yesod is the secret. That's why it's called the Sod. So anyway, go home, practice. Practice makes perfect, even in this. And you will be surprised how easy it becomes, and how it'll transform everything. But I really wanted to do this class for the women, because I know you've been asking some questions. It's hard. Well, what's our role? Well, what if I'm single? Well, what if I'm married? Well, what if I'm this? Well, what if I'm that? You've got all the components there. You got all the components there. Much easier than a man. Much on a much higher level than a man. So it's y'all's job to drag us along. And
that's why all of the males have all of the mitzvahs and have all the time oriented things. And it looks like, oh well, the women can't do this. The women don't need to do it.
Yeah.
That's the whole aspect of it. It's not a
But they light the
patriarchal
candles. They light 2 candles. They bring in, the Rachel, Leah. It's all there, and they bring in the Shekinah, and they're bringing this stuff in to them. They're bringing that light into them, because they've got to carry that light through the Shabbat. Because what's the mitzvah on Shabbat? To have sex with your husband. Why do you think that is? Because of what we just went over. And that's the secret to the whole thing. What's the table? It's the ark. She's bringing the light in. What is she? She's the freaking ark. And then he's the Kohen. He walks into the ark. He walks into the temple. That's the whole sexual union. That's the whole thing. And then what happens? The two cherubim come together, and God speaks. The Shekhinah speaks between the cherubim. That's why men are on a constant conquer for sex, and women aren't, because they've got all the parts. That's the secret. And now you know.
No, it ain't no secret.
The rest of the story.
And now you know the rest of the story. All right, Lonnie, good to see you, buddy. Hope you enjoyed the class.
Sages are
The Torah is amazing. The sages are amazing, and we will see y'all here next week. We will continue. Let me see where we be here. Why do you think the ark is called Aron HaBrit? A Brit is the circumcision. So anyway, we will start with I don't know. I'll come up with something. All right, Lonnie. Have a good week, brother.
I will. You do the same. Good class, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, John. Peace out, brother.
He's got a phone on mute.
Okay, question.
Okay, sure. Now you know why we can't show that to anybody.
Oh yeah.
You said that lesbians are making cocoon for something.
No. Lesbians are perverting it.
Perverting cocoon.
You would be making cocoon for Leah and Rachel. For Lilith and Hava, more so. You don't need to make cocoon for Leah and Rachel. They plenty did theirs.
Yeah, it's the front and back side of the feminine aspect of Adam.
Yes.
And then, of course, Adam and Sam is the male aspect
Yeah.
of that side. So each side, has a male and a female, which would be Adam and Hava and Lilith and Sam, front side, back side. But both sides have a male and female aspect. So we're doing cocoon for that. But no, they wouldn't be. They're not completing anything in
I
their
guess
actions.
You mentioned that you started out to talk about depression. Were you just going to say that one sentence?
Depression is a Lilith trait. When a woman gets too far Lilith, she gets depressed.
Is there any way to move yourself toward Eve?
Yeah. That's what this whole exercise is about. You bring that Yesod energy up here and unify it. That's
Right.
what the Ot does. The Ot unifies it.
See, that's the whole thing, there's, I don't know, but I can only imagine, and it seems like it is to me. I mean, I don't know any research on it, but even in homosexuality, in male homosexuality, seems to be there's a lot of depression, and that depression is brought on because the aspect of Lilith is escalated with spilling the seed.
It's drawing so much of their essence. There's one thing to be in a down mood, and there's one thing to be depressed. Those are way two different things. Everybody has a bad day, and everybody feels like crap, and I'm depressed. But there's one thing to really be depressed.
Well, I mean, so if we're talking about Lilith and that, then for anybody, whether you're heterosexual or homosexual male, and you're spilling the seed that's drawing the aspect of Lilith to you, which is going to bring depression. Is that a correct statement?
Yeah, it gives it the power to suck your power.
Okay.
And when it sucks your power, you have no more power, you're going to be depressed.
That's going to bring on depression.
Then it'll-
Which, yeah, and that's the thing is the depression is a citra chakra that is trying to bring on death and to overpower you.
It's
and
sucking
take
the
you.
life out of you.
And that's why it's doing that, is because it is sucking the life out of you and
It's
bringing
exactly
that
what it's
depression
doing.
on. Because depression is totally the citra chakra.
Yeah.
Now, I can't remember
Evil
what that word
inclination.
means.
Evil inclination.
Okay.
The evil inclination that's just
The other side.
Yeah, and it's just sucking out that evil inclination sucks everything out
it
of
has
you.
no light of its own. If there wasn't spilling of the seed, the Messiah would be here like in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because the other side would have no energy.
dead.
It would be dead. It would be absolutely dead.
And then that way, and then the Mashiach could be here because it would fill the void, of that void. And there's two ways the Mashiach can come. It can come through a song and gladness, which is, everybody, this evil inclination is gone, or through pain and suffering.
And what is it? The Torah says that the Messiah comes because there is no righteousness. There's no righteousness. And what did Solomon say? What was the downfall of Solomon? He said, I looked to and fro and I found no righteous woman. That was what was going on in that day. He was trying to use that Gubrod energy, and that's why he had 1,000 women. What do you think he was doing? What do you think Samson was doing? Samson was grinding seed in the Philistines. What about the girl in Judges that has sex with the general 7 times and then takes a stake and runs it through his pineal gland? It said through his temple, but we know it's talking about the pineal gland.
Yeah, so it's the da'at. And all
The
that.
da'at, ran it through his da'at. She pulled all that energy out, all the sparks out, redeemed all the sparks back he had stolen, and killed him. It's in the book of Judges. What is Pinchas, the great mighty Pinchas, known for? They were having sex in front of Moses, and he runs a spear and stabs them both through their genitals, and they stick to it, and he puts them raise them up on the pole and sticks it in the ground, and that's where they died. Together. The whole thing is a sexual book. None of it's not. Tamar, Lot. Who saves Lot? His daughters. How many? 2. Rachel, Leah. It's always there. It's always there. But we live in a society where everything on TV is sex. And it has perverted it so that then when it gets in the house, it's like, oh, no, oh, no, oh, no.
Yeah, it's perverted, so it's evil.
So it's evil.
Yeah, and so you see that perpetuation that it has.
Yeah.
We pervert it so much that we hate it, and then it's still in that.
It's dirty, it's nasty, it's
Yeah.
this, it's that.
We judge it.
Don't play with that, don't touch that, don't do this, don't do that.
And it is an entire lie from the
It's
backside.
the biggest damn lie of all. Because that's the only thing that can kill it.
Yeah, this consciousness would kill it.
It's the only
and bring
thing.
the Messiah.
Yes.
And build the temple.
It's the only thing. It's the only way.
Well, we're glad we got that all figured out. I can turn this off.